I'm about to share breaking news. You need to listen to all 3 or 4 minutes of it, and then you need to share it with as many people as you possibly can. There is information coming out of DC that is terrifying, and it has a very specific tie to history, all of which I'm about to explain. Breaking news right now, Chuck Schumer, who, by the way, let's throw the middle finger to, if you know, you know, was talking early this morning on X about the idea that there are rumors that Trump has plans to turn Stephen Miller into some kind of czar overseeing post-Maduro Venezuela. And this is now being confirmed by many news outlets. Also pay attention, especially to international news outlets as more information comes. I recommend personally Reuters, The Guardian, and BBC. Those are my go-tos. Anyway, I want to talk about this in a historical context. Why Stephen Miller? Why? That's a weird choice, except it's not. Stephen Miller is the mastermind behind all of the ICE terrorism going on here in the United States. He is the lead on racism and white supremacy in America. In order for us to understand this, we have to, of course, look back in history. Let's get in the time machine. Let's go back. September 1st, 1939. Germany invades Poland from the west. The Soviet Union, at the same time, invades Poland from the east. They're working together. They decide they're going to annex Poland, take it as part of their countries, each of those two countries taking various regions to oversee or rule, which is what we just did to Venezuela, by the way. The Americans did that to Venezuela. Enter this guy, Hans Frank, or Frank if you're English speaking. He, in the 1920s, was Hitler's personal lawyer, but there's much more to the story. Forgive me if I look up, I have a couple of notes, I want to get this right. Anyway, back to Hans Frank. As I just said, he was Hitler's personal lawyer, and in the 1920s, he helped to give legal justification to Nazi racial laws. Very, very important, again, because the parallel here is Stephen Miller, who is responsible for ICE terrorism here in the United States and deporting presumably innocent people, because in the United States you are innocent until proven guilty, without any trial, without habeas corpus. Now that we've established the parallels, you have to hear what Hans Frank is responsible for, what happened under his authority, because again, it parallels Stephen Miller, except it is escalated. When I say Poland, you need to be thinking about Venezuela. When I say Germany, you need to be thinking about the United States. Listen, the dictator in our Oval Office, Trump, he slept with Mein Kampf next to his bedside. He knows the playbook front and back. Here's what happened under Frank's authorization or authority. Millions of Poles were subjected to forced labor. Remember, concentration camps, many of them were in Poland, including Auschwitz. Jewish ghettos were established in many places, including Warsaw. Mass deportations to extermination camps. So when people were taken from Germany as Jews, they were sent to the extermination camps. You know the ones I'm talking about. Again, Auschwitz and others. And then there was also widespread terror, not just in Poland and Germany, but in the regions around. Executions, starvation, cultural destruction of Jewish people and political opponents, etc. And Frank openly described Poland as a place where Germans could rule without law or restraint. He committed war crimes and crimes against humanity. Eventually, he found himself with a noose around his neck after the Nuremberg trials. This man and Stephen Miller are the same. This is terrifying. Everyone needs to know. And yeah, call me a fearmonger, but I would rather know than go through life right now not knowing.